The most shocking fact about Duchess Adeline de Valois of the Loire Valley isn't her rise to New York's elite, or her millions in investments for fictional charities. The truth is, she never existed at all. The so-called Duchess was actually Sarah Jenkins, a former paralegal from Cleveland, Ohio, with no royal blood or French connections. Her identity was a masterful fabrication, built on audacity and a keen understanding of what people want to believe. Sarah's life was ordinary, until she became obsessed with the world of the ultra-wealthy, studying nobles, memorizing family trees, and perfecting royal etiquette. She didn't just want wealth, she wanted a new identity, one that commanded respect and opened doors. The transformation was slow and deliberate, a French accent practiced from old films, designer pieces from consignment shops, and a wardrobe that became her costume. She erased her past, deleting social media, closing accounts, and cutting ties. In her place, Duchess Adeline de Valois emerged online, with a curated Instagram full of French chateaux and poetic captions. Every detail was calculated, every move designed to lay the foundation for her new life. Before she ever set foot in high society, the digital bricks of her persona were already in place. The world was ready to believe in the Duchess, because she made them want to. To become a Duchess, Sarah needed more than a title. She needed a believable history. She chose the name Adeline de Valois, referencing a defunct royal house, and crafted a tragic backstory, a family ruined by the French Revolution, clinging to a fading chateau. Using her paralegal skills, she forged birth certificates, baptismal records, and aged photographs, even designing a family crest for custom stationery. Her education? Swiss boarding schools and the Sorbonne, entirely invented, but backed by hours of library research and practiced conversation. She method-acted her way into the role, blurring the line between Sarah and Adeline. To explain her presence in New York, she invented a diplomatic post with a Franco-American society, giving her a reason to attend galas and fundraisers. The story was airtight, a cultured, tragic noblewoman bridging old and new worlds. New York's elite, hungry for romance and exclusivity, welcomed her with open arms. The stage was set for her greatest performance. Adeline didn't just arrive in New York. She orchestrated her debut. Her first public appearance was at a charity auction, where she made a high-profile purchase, her title announced for all to hear. Instantly, whispers spread. Who was this mysterious Duchess? She built intrigue by remaining aloof, never desperate to network, always dignified and reserved. At parties, she shared just enough, anecdotes about her grandfather the Baron, or wistful memories of the Loire Valley. Her style was classic French minimalism, elegant, understated, with a single heirloom piece, actually a replica. Her elegance set her apart from the flashy displays of new money, suggesting old-world status. Every detail, from her accent to her jewelry, reinforced her noble persona. She avoided French expatriates, claiming painful memories, and turned probing questions into moments of sympathy. The risks were enormous, but her emotional manipulation made her untouchable. High society was captivated, eager to believe in her tragic romantic narrative. The Duchess had arrived, and everyone wanted to know her. With her place secured, Adeline spun a deeper web of lies. She launched the De Valois Preservation Fund, complete with a glossy website and a fictional board of French nobles. Exclusive fundraising dinners at her rented Parisian-styled apartment drew in wealthy donors. Her story, a beautiful duchess saving her heritage, was irresistible. Donors weren't just giving money, they were buying a piece of her fantasy. She funneled funds through offshore accounts, using donations to finance her lifestyle and make token gifts to real French charities for credibility. Publicly announced donations bolstered her legitimacy, attracting even more investors. Her confidence grew. She navigated conversations with charm, deflecting tricky questions with wit. When pressed on details, she'd laugh and claim poetic ignorance, turning traps into endearing moments. Her greatest talent was performance. Society was her stage, and she played her part flawlessly. The illusion was complete, and her audience was enthralled. But every lie made the web more fragile. For a while, life as Duchess Adeline de Valois was everything Sarah had dreamed. She attended the Met Gala, sat front row at Paris Fashion Week, and vacationed on billionaire yachts. Her days were filled with luxury, her nights with exclusive parties and influential company. The title Duchess opened every door. Restaurants, designers, journalists, All clamored for her attention. She was intoxicated by the deference and power her new identity commanded. The performance became her reality. Adeline felt more real than Sarah ever had. She even thought in a French accent, her reflection a constant reminder of her transformation. But beneath the glamour, fear lingered. Every conversation was a risk, every smile a mask. She was an imposter in a world of real power, always scanning for threats. The life she built was dazzling, but it was also a lonely, gilded cage. The higher she climbed, the more fragile her world became. The cost of her fantasy was constant vigilance. The first threat came from an unexpected source. A young banker from Paris, curious about the Duchess he'd never heard of. He noticed her accent was off, her story too polished. His research found no trace of her foundation or family in French records. He shared his doubts with his boss, who dismissed them, unwilling to question someone so well connected. But the banker persisted, quietly investigating further. He cross-referenced donor lists, found irregularities in the foundation's finances, and contacted the French Ministry of Culture. No one had heard of her. The inconsistencies piled up, turning suspicion into determination. The cracks in her story widened, and the pressure mounted. The grand lie was beginning to unravel. Sarah's carefully constructed world was now under threat. The banker's suspicions reached Michael Vance, a veteran investigative reporter with a nose for high society fraud. Vance had always found the Duchess's story a bit too perfect. He began digging, starting with her supposed birthplace. No records existed. A freelance journalist in France confirmed. No Adeline de Valois had ever been born or baptized there. Her education, the Swiss school and Sorbonne, had no record of her. Every detail of her life story collapsed under scrutiny. Vance consulted forensic accountants, who explained how her foundation's finances could easily mask fraud. The lack of audits, fake board members, and high administrative costs all pointed to a scam. Piece by piece, Vance built a mountain of evidence. He wasn't just exposing a socialite, he was uncovering a criminal enterprise. The Duchess's days were numbered. The truth was closing in. Armed with evidence, Vance arranged an interview with Adeline under the pretense of a glowing profile. In her elegant apartment, she played the Duchess, until Vance began asking about her baptism, her education, her foundation. Her answers faltered. Her accent slipped. Vance calmly presented the facts. No birth certificate, no school records, no real foundation. Her composure crumbled, her hands shook, and the Midwestern accent of Sarah Jenkins emerged. She tried to threaten and deflect, but the evidence was overwhelming. The breaking point. Vance slid over a Cleveland high school yearbook, revealing her true identity. The sight of her old self shattered the illusion. The Duchess vanished, replaced by a terrified woman from Ohio. The interview ended, the lie was exposed. Her world, built on fantasy, collapsed in a single afternoon. The story was ready for the world. The Duchess was no more. Vance's article, "The Duchess Who Never Was," exploded across New York. Her former patrons were humiliated, her invitations vanished, and her powerful friends abandoned her. Legal action was swift. Investigations revealed wire fraud and money laundering. Investors came forward, adding to the mounting case. Sarah Jenkins was arrested in her Park Avenue apartment, the image of her in handcuffs a stark contrast to her former glamour. The fairy tale was over. Reality had arrived. Her story is a cautionary tale about the seductive power of status and the dangers of believing what we want to be true. In a world of curated images and constructed narratives, skepticism is essential. Always look beyond the surface, ask questions, and verify the facts. For more true stories that expose the truth, subscribe and stay with us. We'll keep digging.